Let's bring in Avi Melamed, a Middle East geopolitical intelligence analyst. Avi, thank you as always for joining us.
Good morning, Roger. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the ceasefire talks first. First ones in 2 months. What has got them together, and do we have a reason for optimism?
Well, there has been a couple of dramatic things that happened in the last couple of months, of course. The most significant one, the killing of Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas in Gaza, and the attacks on Iran, as well as the defeat of the Hezbollah, the Iranian major proxy in Lebanon. All those things together, I think, kind of like accelerate some sort of process within Hamas. And I think Iran is also, in a way, involved beyond the scene, trying to push forward maybe towards a ceasefire. Another thing that is apparently very significant is the fact that Israel has boosted its military efforts in the northern part of Gaza Strip, clearly something that is very much concerning Hamas, who is trying to reestablish its presence in the northern part of Gaza Strip. All those things together, to a certain extent, may result in some sort of like momentum. So I think we could say, but in a very cautious way, that maybe there is some place for cautious optimism.
Now, Hamas, I don't believe, has officially said they're going to come to these talks, though.
Yes, but the messages, I think, will continue to flow from side to side. And I think that currently, when you look at the whole geostrategic or geopolitical picture, as I was framing it right now, I think that even though they may not present in the discussion, they definitely will be part of the discussion as just, sitting in the next room, as we say.
How much would Israel be willing to give up, do you think, for some kind of a deal? How many prisoners would they be willing to exchange for? The talk is for some of the hostages.
Well, I don't know to say the number. Obviously, Israel is willing to pay a significant price for the release of the hostages. I think that one of the major issues is particularly regarding the identity of the Palestinians that are imprisoned in Israel, because we are looking at some significant number of Palestinians imprisoned in Israel that basically have been charged and found guilty in the killing of Israelis in terror attacks. Some of them are responsible for the killing of dozens and dozens of Israelis. So obviously the fees are very high. Israeli government apparently is willing to pay significant fees, but I cannot give you a specific number at this point.
And then let's talk a little bit about Iran. They've finally reacted to what happened yesterday, the airstrikes by Israel. Can we expect a more ironclad response from them, like something involving missiles?
To the best of my evaluation, the answer is no. What we see yesterday is very significant. It's very dramatic. Very dramatic because what we see yesterday is actually a very significant shift of an equation that Iran was basically dictating for the last couple of decades across the Middle East. That was an equation that was very useful for the Iranian regime because it enabled the Iranian regime to advance its imperialistic regional expansion through violence and aggression using its proxies, but at the same time being totally immune from any kind of repercussion. That equation came to an end the day before yesterday with the Israeli massive strike in Iran. And so we are looking at a very significant milestone in the story of the Middle East. If we add to that the major blow of Iran's major proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas during the last year in the war in Israel, all in all, what we see today is weakening of what is known as the axis of resistance, a network of armies of terror, sponsored, armed, financed, armed, and by the Iranian regime that has been inflicting death and destruction across the Middle East for decades. This is a good news if this axis of resistance is going to be significantly weakened, and that should be the objective.
Okay. Avi, thank you as always for your insight.
Thank you for having me, Roger. Have a good day.